So here's a view standing outside the apartment and looking across the street to the right. Um, Quite oftentimes these projections look like they're projected onto like the side of houses um, or trees or walls. I'm going to do a close-up of this car. As you can see, it looks like the car has, the car obviously doesn't, or the truck obviously doesn't look like this in real life, but it did look like this in real life. Not quite as colorful, but Samsung saturates their colors. And the trees look like they would have faces in it. Look like there would be faces on the top of the houses. Um, uh, Soon after making these recent recordings, people were seeing faces and things in the clouds. And I was like, okay, so people are starting to see this stuff now. And so I was like, that's good. People are starting to see this. So I guess, it's blatant and it's public knowledge and it's getting out. And they're holding me hostage, or they're holding my dad hostage, or they're just holding the world hostage, or whatever. Or they don't know and the world's sneaking up on them. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. This is taking too fucking long. Another thing that they would do is if you look at the house, it kind of looks like the windows are eyes. They do something kind of like that. They create something like a bubble effect, kind of like a fisheye effect, but it's a little bit more like a bubble. Um, Around things, and then just lights on the houses end up looking the houses end up looking more like eyes. If you look at some of my videos from the valley, or some of my pictures from the valley back in or in Westlaco, you'll start to notice that a lot of times the houses, at a glance, they look more like their faces. It looks like the windows are more likely to be interpreted as eyes, more so than they would without this twack or this projected imagery or these anomalies. And it's because they can put this twack in between, in your eyes, and or in between you and the object you're looking at, and or on the object you're looking at itself. And it just creates like this bubble effect, and it creates like these anomalies, and it just looks like, or they'll put like a literal eye in the window, like there's like an eye-shaped thing on the left window. That just went off screen. And so you'll see here in the side of the house, it looks like the windows are eyes, and it just tricks the brain into. I think it tricks the brain's pattern recognition and facial recognition um, processes, and it just catches your eye more. Here's the intersection. You'll notice there's a lot of twack here. And that's why I pointed it in this direction. I was just like, it looks like there's a ridiculous amount of noise there. Where you can see faces, and you can see just like literally you can see the twack like moving, and sometimes you can see pattern in the movements. Sometimes it looks like there's people running, and then it'll like swirl and swirl, start to swirl, and it'll look like, okay, there's people dancing, they're swirling, they're like square dancing or something like that, and they're spinning and spinning, and it goes into something else. And I'm not saying that they look like people square dancing here, but I've seen the patterns over and over again, and sometimes it did look like it was people like they were swirling and twirling, and they're making a reference now to Brett Baugh enjoying Ken Brockman talking about reporting on something where he was like twirling, twirling, and twirling around or something like that. And maybe it wasn't Ken Brockman, maybe it was a politician or something like that. And they keep playing Jesse Bennett, and they keep playing Jeopardy. They keep playing up a clip of where it looks like he's on Jeopardy.